If you work online, your data is your livelihood.
Today, I'm joined by Chaz from Megablox Guild. She's going to be talking to you about how to protect yourself online, the common mistakes, the do's and the don'ts, the pros, the cons, and I'm told that you actually have a story about identity theft yourself. Where years back you actually somebody just got your information and they pretended they were you and they had a good time with your identity. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it was a tough thing. This happened years and years ago, and it's actually the thing that sort of inspired me to get into. Inspired me to get into online and digital security. I was once a victim of identity theft myself, and the person somehow gained access to my information, opened some credit, opened up like a gas card, and they went in and they were just going around shopping, uh, going around filling up their gas tank. And I had no idea this was taking place until my bank reached out and asked me if I'd made some transactions. They had noticed some suspicious activity, and they reached out to me to confirm whether or not these transactions were legitimate. Obviously, they weren't. But that was the thing, the red flag and the alert that made me aware that this was taking place. And it was an eye opener because previously I didn't really have an understanding that something like this could happen. But once it happened, obviously, it opened my eyes. And it's a thing that inspired me to try to at least provide some level of information for others. So once I discovered that this took place, I had to get to work to try and verify that these transactions were not things that were originating for me. So I actually went out and contacted some of the retail stores and got some information, uh, gathered some documentation that included timestamps. Um, I even was able to talk a couple of them into giving me some surveillance footage. But these things were helpful because I was able to provide that information to the bank. They had already started their own investigation. Uh, so all the information there was something that they were able to corroborate to confirm that I didn't make these transactions. Obviously, when these things happen, they want to make sure that they're able to resolve everything and balance everything they need to. But they were able to discover the culprit. They were able to recover the funds. I was able to get things settled on my end, so it was a win all around. But it was definitely alarming and you know uncomfortable situation.
For sure. I mean, I can imagine. I mean, how scary that must have been. The thoughts may have been running through your head about, am I actually going to get this money back, or am I going to be responsible for it?
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, because when it happens, it can take months and months to resolve it and get your money back.
yeah, I can imagine. Now, when it comes to YouTube, I wanted to get your opinion on this. If you're recording a YouTube video, say maybe a vlog, you're walking outside and you're talking, on a selfie stick to your camera. Uh, I say don't record anywhere near your home. I mean, in your neighborhood, you know, don't let your driver's license plate be in the camera on the video. Maybe even blur it out if you're able to.
Hmm.
Um, don't get your house number, that number on your house in the video. Just maybe go to some park or somewhere away from your home, just for privacy and safety reasons. Um,
Definitely.
wh- yeah, what would you what would you advise people about that? Would you say the same thing?
Because location information is typically tied to landmarks, uh, license plates, building numbers, so on and so forth. You want to be mindful when you are online and sharing information or even putting yourself on camera. Your surroundings are important because all that information is trackable and can be used against you. Um, so you want to use some blurring option, like you just mentioned. I think YouTube has some blurring options that are in there, somewhere in their settings. Uh, but you don't want to include things like, ideally, you don't want to include like, maybe your kids. In some cases, certainly you don't want to show an image or have a backdrop that includes like your license plate or your house number or again landmarks, certain buildings that are recognizable and searchable, online within your background and within the environment. These are all things to watch out for. If you are outside and you're, wanting to, in the case of YouTube, do like a video, want to be mindful of where you are and try to minimize the things that you are sharing in terms of information and visuals. Because again, a lot of these things are searchable and trackable and can expose you to things like data associated breaches, doxing,
Mm,
all kinds of things that could be bad at the end.
yeah.